reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining. It's Wakawaka Doctor here. I'm so pleased to see all of you trooping in from far and wide. Thank you very much for joining. Today is not going to be any different. You know, you're watching Wakawaka Doctor here. Always bring you the best gist when it comes to travel and migration. We want to talk about moving to Canada, and the idea behind this conversation is to be able to help you get free immigration lawyer and a very fast visa processing, and you don't need to pay for it. Okay, it's going to be free for you. It's going to be free for you. But I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to hear it from me. I'll prefer you hear it from the horse's mouth. How you can access this facility of getting a free immigration lawyer, a free fast visa processing, free visa processing, and you'll be able to ask all the questions you want to ask. Okay, you'll be able to ask all the questions you want to ask. So stick with me, stick with me. Okay, I'm going to invite my guest straight away so that we can get into this. So quickly, before I tell you the gist of the day, I want you to share this video. Make sure you like, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you just share to as many friends as possible. I also want to tell you that there is a masterclass that I created just for you. A masterclass that you can buy that is very affordable, that will give you opportunities. You're in tech, you're looking for scholarships, you're looking for how to apply to jobs, you're an engineer, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're in healthcare, you're in tech, you're looking to move to the United States for free. I got everything covered. You've applied for jobs, but they're not calling you. This masterclass has everything all. And I've created a special link in the description box of this video for you to be able to get that masterclass, okay? So go to the link and get the masterclass. How are you doing, brother? It's good to see you.
How are you? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you doing yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much
We've
for having me
we've
on.
got a lot of people watching here, people from India, from Congo, a lot from Nigeria, obviously, Ghana, South Africa, Indonesia, Dubai, you know, Australia, England, Kuwait, Guatemala, Kenya,
Wow.
loads, Rwanda. So it's a big room you've got this evening. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself, so that they know who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is Matthew McClellan. I am a co-founder and the CEO of Halp, Halp. Halp is a platform that provides members with an admissions coach and an immigration lawyer to navigate the study abroad journey. So our goal is to just simplify that process, hopefully help you be successful the first time, and with a great experience.
Fantastic. And are you in Canada at the moment?
Yeah, right now I'm in a place called London, Ontario, just outside of Toronto in Ontario, Canada.
Fantastic. So is Canada still favorable? Is it still attractive for people to come to, you know,
It's a
to
great,
whether to visit, to study, or move to generally? A lot of people want to move to Canada. Is it still
yeah.
as favorable to come?
Look, and I'll speak from the perspective of somebody looking to study abroad. I'm not as well versed in terms of like open work permit and other types of immigration, which, you can do other research into, but you know, it can be a challenging landscape. Immigration Canada is constantly updating some of the rules and regulations around, who qualifies for a study permit and in what way. I would say, however, with that being said, and when we hear about caps and reduced numbers of students and that type of thing, there will still be hundreds of thousands of students that come to Canada every year. It is still, a welcoming place, a great culture, excellent schools at the university and college level, strong programs, especially, and there are labor opportunities in places, where the cost of living is a little more palatable. So I do believe it is still a great place to go. I will also say that, if you're confused by some of the news and some of the headlines, your feeling is valid, right? It's confusing. There are changing rules. There's conflicting information. Now more than ever, it is very important to be able to lean on and speak to experts, people in the country that have relationships with government and with schools and that can advise you on when the right time is to pursue it, because I do believe that it is still a worthwhile endeavor and an excellent experience, but it can be hard to figure out what all of these new rules mean. And I know we'll talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely talk about all these rules. I still believe that Canada still ranks high, you know, when it comes to top tier
Mhm.
destinations for a lot of immigrants. So it's going to be an opportunity for anyone. Now, talk us through what you're doing with Halp. What exactly is Halp, and how can it benefit those of us in my community, for instance, who are watching you this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, Halp is an end-to-end student service platform to help you discover, get admissions, and get immigration and a study permit around studying abroad, right? We help with that entire process. I think the best way to understand what we do is to compare it to sort of the other types of things that you could use in the marketplace, right? There are agents, you can apply directly on your own, or you can work with Halp. And so let's talk about what those three look like, right? When you work with a traditional agent, they'll be located in your home country. Likely they've never been to Canada. They might not understand all the rules, the regulations, that information. Often you pay upfront fees. You might be picking off a shorter list of schools, right? And you might have to work with someone else for the immigration piece, and often over Zoom or driving and spending time traveling, right? And the success rate on the first time can sometimes be a little bit lower, but not always. So that's kind of an agent experience. When you apply on your own, you have to sift through a ton of different information. You have to understand the nuance. Often students will understand study level and program, but they might not know, the institution they want to go to in the specific subject because of, there being nuance around the provinces, the municipalities, cost of living, labor markets, what that means for post-grad work permit, what that means for immigration, if that's your end goal versus going back home. And so you have to do a lot of work up front. Then you have all these different application bundles with different documents and different deadlines. And you don't know if you're putting your best foot forward. So it can be time consuming, it can be stressful, and a lot of unknowns. So those are the other two options. But if you work with Halp and how our service benefits students, to your question, with our platform, you get an immigration coach and an immigration lawyer that will support you one-on-one from end to end. So it's our job with the admissions coach to help you understand, based on your goal, study level, job market, and destination country you want to work and live in, what is the best institution, school, and program for you and for those needs. And then once we have that, we actually help you build and submit the application right on our platform. Because we have relationships with the school, you'll be able to receive acceptances in as little as 2 days, but sometimes it can be a couple weeks. And then once you are accepted and you make your tuition deposit, we have a platform that makes it really easy for you to build your admission, your immigration, your study permit application. And then we have a lawyer review it, provide comments, and then submit it to Immigration Canada on your behalf, which can help with the approval rates, right? And so then you'll get approved for that. And then it's like, where do I live? What bank should I use? Insurance, getting a phone, like all these types of things, and we'll help with that. So from the time you're discovering programs to the time you land on campus, you have two experts that are based in Canada that understand the situation really well to work with you and support you. And all that is for free. And also it saves you money. A lawyer without us would cost over $2,000 Canadian, right? And so that's how we try to make this process accessible, easy, and simple for the members that we work with.
Now, thank you very much for that. Now, I've
Mhm.
always told people that the easiest way to move to Canada is moving as a student. The study pathway remains the easiest pathway to move into Canada. And when I tell people that there is a facility where they can get access for free, like they can get access to helping with admissions, going through documents, free immigration lawyer, they say I am lying, that it is not possible. Agents must get money and stuff.
Mhm.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, for sure. And I would say first and foremost, your principal goal should be education and be motivated by the education, because immigration won't always be a guarantee, right? So I'll just say that at the beginning. Overall, when it does come to how we work and how this operates, we are able to be free because we earn money from the institution, the school that you end up enrolling in. They will pay us a fee saying, thank you for bringing us an amazing student and a great customer. The reason we don't have to charge up front, and the reason we can still be a student first, student centric organization, is because we're a technology platform. We've built a custom built web application that will allow our coaches to work with a certain volume of students that we make our margin overall on that volume. So we don't need to push people to schools that would maybe, be more lucrative for us. We work with a high enough volume where we can support students and work in their best interest. Oftentimes we will advise our clients, wait 6 to 8 months. Now is not the best time for you. We don't need to be pushy and that type of thing. And the reason that we can be free is because we built the tech and the process in a way that our conversion rates are high enough that we don't need to charge up front. And so it works really well that way. And you can find testimonials, you can talk to friends and family, likely they might know someone that has used Halp, and they'll tell you what that's like. But that's generally how it works is we don't need to charge the family. We are pretty strict about who we allow
I,
onto
I
our
want to
platform.
I want you to be clear again that
Yeah,
the whole process with Halp is totally free.
correct.
Nobody's going to pay anything, not a dime.
Not a dime. There will be, sorry, you won't pay money to help, but there
Yes.
are costs involved in the process.
No,
So
of
just so
course
that, yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna pay your tuition. You're
yeah.
gonna pay your tuition.
You have to pay. So like you might, certain schools have application fees and that you pay to the school, not to help. You have to make a tuition deposit. Once again, that's to the school, not help. You have to pay to submit your study permit application to the government of Canada. That's to the government, not help. But once you are successful, the school will pay us a fee, like how a real estate agent works or other type of brokerage style business models.
And
Yeah.
and you did say something that you've got coaches and immigration lawyers, and are you open to helping people from all around the world, or are there specific countries that you want to work with? Is there a specific number of people you want to work with?
Yeah, since we started, we've worked with tens of thousands of students from over 50 countries. Generally speaking, our largest volume source countries would be Nigeria, Ghana, India, Vietnam, Philippines, but we've had students from all over the world. If you are a student that is, what we believe matching, because a lot of students and applicants will get accepted to the institution, but it's all about the study permit. And so we have a pretty good idea because we submit thousands of applications as to what the government is looking for. And so if regardless of the home country that you are applying from, if you're open to speaking to a coach that is primarily going to, talk to you in English and communicate with you over WhatsApp in English, if that is comfortable for you, and you meet those criteria, we will for sure, take a look at your case and hopefully be the right platform to support you.
All right, thank you very much. Now
Yeah.
let's talk about the process. How people
Mhm.
interested in moving to Canada want to move to Canada. Help is there to support them.
Mhm.
What's the process involved? How can we get signed up?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you will be sharing a link,
Yes,
and we do have a
I'll be
VIP
sharing
link
a
for
link.
your
I'll be sharing a
students.
link. Yeah.
So signing up for help and the whole process is free. But the difficult part is verification and onboarding. That is where we look at, your situation against what the government and the schools are looking for to see if it makes sense right now. Okay. And so let's talk about that process. If you're going to work through help, you sign up, instantly, you enter verification. This is where we will look at a photo of your passport, your transcripts. We'll ask a bunch of questions about what it is that you're looking to do. Our onboarding team will reach out and call you to try to understand a little bit more about your unique situation. And we take all that information and we look at it against the school and the study level and the program type that you're targeting to see what is the likelihood you'll be successful, as well as, trends at Immigration Canada, right? And if we believe that it is in your best interest and that you have a really good chance, we will instantly match you with a coach for free that will start working with you on our platform and over WhatsApp to do admissions coaching. So that's where we do the difficult work of understanding, what is it that you're looking to do in terms of a job? Is immigration a factor? These types of things, so that we can understand what are the best schools and programs for you. There are different provinces within Canada. They all have different schools within them with different programs. There's different labor markets, cost of living, and like community dynamics at play with all these schools. So we will help you understand what are the best schools and programs for you. Generally, we limit it to two or three. At that point, we will build those applications right on the platform. We'll submit them to the schools for you. You'll get a conditional letter of acceptance, and then that says, like, you have 30 days to make your first tuition deposit payment. Generally, that's 2 to 10,000 Canadian dollars, depending on the school. That's refundable if you're not successful at the study permit stage, but that reserves your seat. It's very exciting. Then we take that form as well as some other documents and submit your study permit application to the government. That's where we build the application and the lawyer submits it. Once your study permit is approved, you know that you're going to be coming for January 2025 or April or May 2025 or what have you. Very exciting. We can then help you find a place to live that's nearby campus. We can help
Oh,
get
you can
banking.
help people with accommodation as well?
We don't own any apartment
Yeah,
buildings, but like
no, but
we're
you can
oh yeah,
assist.
we'll provide links, we'll provide information. Oftentimes we'll work with our school partner if they have on-campus housing or off-campus housing to just explain what the neighborhood is, how the rental process works. Definitely, we are not a landlord and we don't run
Yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
student
yeah, yeah,
accommodation
yeah.
business, but you don't lose contact with your coach. Oftentimes, even once the students move to Canada, they're still in contact with their admissions coaches, just to kind of like, ask questions and that type of thing. And then, before you ever get on the plane to come, you have a place to live, you've got a bank account, you've got a phone that's either waiting for you or ready, you have medical insurance, and you're sort of ready to go. And so that's the way that the platform sort of works. And I know the next question will probably be like, so who are the people that are going to get through verification and what does that mean? We do not serve everyone. And that's what makes it really difficult is I would love to, but we won't put forward a student application if we don't believe they don't have a reasonable chance at success. And what that means is a lot of the students that come to the platform would definitely get accepted to an institution and are excellent learners and strong candidates. However, the government of Canada is very strict and stringent and continue to change the rules, right? And that's why we look at who's actually getting approved for study permits, and that's what happens and what we test against in the verification phase of our business. And so generally speaking, we look for students that are, in and around 30 or below, less than a 5-year study gap. Your education path has to make sense. You're not going from a master's program to a 1-year general business diploma, right? You have to be showing that you continue to, progression in your path, right, is very important. And we will look for that. You have to, and this is the toughest one that we see refusal for, is you need to have the ability to show proof of funds to the Canadian government equivalent of about 50,000 Canadian dollars of actual money in a bank account, right? And this is tough because you don't actually have to use that money to eventually pay for your education. They just want to know that you have access to it in case things go wrong. And so we've seen students with 35,000, 38,000, 40,000 get denied for proof of funds reasons, right? They're just being very strict about that. And so sometimes we'll talk to students that are like, I've got this much and I'll have this much by this time, and we'll wait, right? Because they get tons of applications and they can be very selective. And so we make sure that they have that. And the last piece is strong ties to home country. So maybe not bringing a spouse over right away, having a reason to go back, a business or, family, that type of thing. When we look at all those factors together, we can kind of determine that plus your candidacy and the answers you give us in terms of what you want to do. We can get a pretty good idea of whether or not we think in the current, immigration climate in Canada, how, your chances will be. And then if we think you meet that bar, we will match you to a coach. Now, if you don't, that's totally okay. You can still apply on your own. You can enlist the services of someone else, or you can wait and take our advice. But it's because we just don't want you to spend money applying to schools and paying a tuition deposit, and then you get to the study permit process and you maybe don't have the optimal chance, right? You could just wait a little bit and make your case a little bit better. And so that's kind of the catch, a little, not like the catch, but like we don't take on every single person that signs up because we're just unable to. And hopefully one day that will change.
And someone is praising you for such transparency in 2024. Someone is saying such transparency in 2024. Thank you very much for being very open and letting
It's
people
the
know.
honest truth, and we will try to always be honest with everybody that signs up and registers and wants to work with us.
All right, guys. Please, I need you to listen carefully before we go on to the next set of questions. I need you to listen carefully. If you're interested in signing up with Halp, you're impressed and you've listened to everything Matt has said, all you need to do is 2 things. Number 1 is to either use the link I have pinned at the bottom of the screen, http://m.halp.co/wakawaka-vip. You use that link to register. Okay, it's at the bottom of the screen I've pinned, or you can send a DM. Okay, send a DM right here on Instagram to We Can Halp. Okay, We Can Halp. We Can Halp. We Can Halp. I've written it there. You can also send them a DM and someone will be able to help you with the whole process, because I can see someone saying that they tried to register last week but couldn't upload their documents. So the best thing to do is send a DM to We Can Halp and someone will be able to help you with the process. All right. So please, like I've always said, going through the student pathway is the easiest route for Canada. Of course, Canada has more than 200 different pathways if you are eligible, but I think that going as a student is the best one, and it is a very rare thing to find a platform that would not charge you fees, that would not charge you anything. It's a very rare opportunity, and I think you need to take advantage of this. Make sure you qualify for it. Make sure you use their services, free immigration lawyer, one-on-one coach. You listen to instructions. They live in Canada. They know how the system works. A lot of them have graduated from Canadian universities, so they're not going to lead you astray. if they say move to the left, you move to the left. If they say jump high, you say how high. Okay, that's the simple thing. You've also told us about documentation that people need to have, and
Mhm.
another important thing is you've mentioned again is you've talked about documentation. Some of the questions I want to ask you that have come up is, will students be able to work while they study? Um, are your schools, how many schools do you have associations with?
Mhm.
Are they DLI institutions? And how many years of postgraduate work permit will people get?
These are all great questions. We can just take them in order, I guess. On the document side, when you first sign up for Halp, it would be great if you had ready a photo of the passport, even if you just take it with your phone, a photo of your last transcript of the most recent education that you graduated from. And if you want to skip the long line in processing, if you show a photo of the bank account that you're going to use, you, your sponsor, your family member that has the proof of funds, if you put those three things in, you'll accelerate through the process. So documentation wise, that's generally what we need. And then you fill out an intake form that gives us the rest of the information. Separately, the next question I believe was, what is it like? Can you work, while you're a student in Canada? As of right now, 20 to 24 hours a week total is what you can work. I'm not really sure what they even do to police this if you work more or less, but generally the focus should be on education, getting great grades. You get, and we'll talk about post-grad work permit and the ability to work in Canada after. And some programs also have co-op, which is a different thing. But if you're in a general non-co-op full-time program, at a designated learning institution, which is like most institutions in Canada, college, university, public, private, you are able to work 20 to 24 hours per week part-time. Um,
And
the
I
next,
said,
sorry, go
how
ahead.
many schools? How many schools are you associated with, and are they DLIs?
Yes, all the schools are DLIs. We don't work with any schools that are not DLIs. They're all post-grad work permit approved as of right now. The rules around that are changing as it relates to the specific program you are going for. We don't have all the information there yet, and we can talk about that in a second. Um, we have access to hundreds of schools in Canada that have thousands of different programs. We also have schools in US, UK, Australia. Although for those three countries, we don't provide right now the immigration lawyer. That's just for Canada where we're located and where we understand the best. I saw someone say, what's a DLI? It's just a designated learning institution. That is sort of the moniker that we give schools that are like curriculum and facility approved by like the provincial or governing bodies that allow them to grant degrees or diplomas. It just is another word for schools. Should we go to the post-grad work
Yeah, let's
permit
talk
side?
about the postgraduate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, this is all changing right now, and why, whenever the immigration or application landscape changes, it makes really good expert advice from admissions coaches and, legal experts very important, right? Right now in Canada, they just announced a whole new list of regulations in addition to what they announced in January of updates to them, right? And so a lot of students come to us, the majority, and they know the study level they want and they know the subject area. So maybe like, master's in a business related program for like data science and analytics, right? What they won't know is what school should I go to? And the reason this is important is as of a few weeks ago, a master's program in like a business or STEM subject would qualify you generally for a 3-year post-grad work permit just because of the study level, as long as it was like more than a year. Um, that's changing. We don't know yet what the implications are in terms of what they want to do is match programs in different provinces that match the labor shortages or in-demand jobs in that province. You'll get a longer PGWP, or that'll make you eligible in the first place. We're not sure what they're going to come out and say. Like, hopefully that happens in the next couple of weeks. But generally speaking, we will be able to understand what programs and schools in which provinces for which job openings or in-demand jobs will allow you which length of post-grad work permit. I will say that overall, if you apply for your visa before November 1st, you're not affected by any of this. So we will be able to still move forward. And we have, many students in that process now, some of which I see on here. But that's generally the situation is you want to pick a program and an institution that has access to a job market that will allow you, if you qualify for a post-grad work permit, to actually get hired and get that Canadian experience and pay down any student loans you might have, so that whether or not you want to try to apply for PR, some types of residency, or whether or not after 1, 2, 3 years you're going to move home, you'll still be at the top of the job market because you had that Canadian experience and you were able to work here So yeah, that's kind of the setup.
And can people still apply for January 2025? Is it possible?
Yeah. So I wouldn't wait too much longer. At some of our direct partners, we can get the application submitted in just a few days and get quick approvals. I would want to enter the study permit process prior to November 1st, if possible. Generally, right now, when we submit an application to the Government of Canada for a study permit, it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 12 weeks, is what we generally see. I've heard students taking up to 15 weeks. Hopefully, that's not the case anymore. But the earlier you get your application in, the better chance you have of getting an approval before that intake starts. But a lot of our partners do have seats right now for January 2025.
All right, fantastic. Let's take a couple of questions for you. I just need to say, guys, Halp doesn't help with jobs. They help with admissions, student pathway only. They don't help with jobs, nothing like that. All right. They don't help with visit visas. This is specifically for people who want to go to Canada to study. All right. If you want to go through the study pathway, you need a free immigration lawyer. You need someone to help you one-on-one for free. All right. For free. You're not going to pay anything at all. All right.
I
Just
understand.
go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question, Jody.
Okay, I was just wondering, so how do you guys make money if you provide your services for free?
Yeah, we make money from the institutions that the students attend. When the student shows up on their first day, makes tuition payments, and graduates on time, we earn a placement fee from the institution.
Okay, and then I wanted to ask, why is it for someone that is over the age of 30? Can you guys still help the person?
We can. It depends when the last undergrad or master's program happened for them if it's under a 5-year study gap. But as of right now, especially from certain countries, we've seen them refuse people and want them to go through open work or like different avenues if they're like, you know, 33, 34, 35 or up. It doesn't mean it's impossible. There's always nuance and always different things that we can look at, but just generally speaking, we see higher approval rates for people under that age.
All
It
right, all right.
doesn't mean it's impossible. And also, I will preface this by saying I'm not an immigration lawyer. That's people on our staff. And so, you know, sign up, talk to somebody, get real legal advice. I'm just talking about trends and data.
Okay, and then I just have one last question. Sorry, sorry for
Yeah, no
taking.
worries.
Okay, and then for someone that is based in Europe, right, that have a European passport and then want to move from Europe to Canada for studies, does he? I was wondering, does he have to pay for it? Because here, for example, I don't pay for school. So let's say I want to move to Canada and want to study over there. Do I need to pay for the studies, or is it free? As
Yeah,
because I'm a European citizen,
yeah, you'll have to pay tuition.
I have to
Only,
pay tuition. All right.
only you have to pay tuition, of course. Yeah.
Okay, sir. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right.
No
Thank you.
And
problem.
you guys can still help with finding schools and everything for someone that's based in
Yeah.
Europe.
Yep,
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you very
no
much. Thank
problem.
All
you.
right. All the best. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jody Chu. All right. Now, Nzembe, where are you calling from?
I am from Malawi.
You're from Malawi. I was in Malawi three months ago.
Really?
Yes, really. I was in
What's the
Malawi.
funny thing about being in Malawi? I didn't
I
see any posts.
posted it. I posted it. It's on my page.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, shame! I missed it. I might have missed it. I took.
All right. Nice.
Okay. It could be. It could be the time I took a break because I took a break off social media at some point. So maybe it could be the time.
Possibly. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. I've got
Nice to
Matthew
meet
here. You want to ask him a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask, are there specific programs that you guys support? Because I've seen that there's some organizations and some scholarships that target specific programs. So,
Mhm.
for example, public policy and management, and things like political science and technology. Are there specific programs that you guys support, or you support everyone in general?
We try to do it everybody. Through our school partners, we have access to business, healthcare, science, STEM. There are sometimes very like highly specialized programs like aviation and pilot school, like or PhD programs or certain master's programs that we might not have access to, we will still try to give you our best advice. But like, we don't turn away any clients or members based on program. Generally, we do most of them.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. You're
Bye.
welcome. Okay, Lima, how are you? Where are you calling from, Lima?
I'm fine. Good evening. My name is Alima from Nigeria.
All right.
Nice
You've
to
got a
meet you.
question. Matt is here. Ask him your question.
Okay, can we come in with dependents?
So potentially, like, it's a better question for our immigration and legal team. However, we've seen the approval. You're allowed to apply with dependents and spouse permits. They might be changing that with the new regulation updates. I would ask the immigration staff that we have. They're better because you're technically able to, but we've seen approval rates be a little bit lower, is the
That's
honest
number
answer.
one. Number two, I am 31 years old currently, and my study gap is kind of, I finished my BSc 5 years ago, 5 years plus, and is there any potentials for me like getting an admission?
The study gap is 5 years and you've done a bachelor's degree?
Yes, bachelor's degree.
Yeah. We work with students that fit that profile quite frequently. Like, it's there's two parts. It's about admission. It's also about study permit approval. The easiest way to try to understand it is to speak with our onboarding and immigration team. So if you sign up and go through and answer the questions and upload your transcripts, photo of the passport, and you answer all the intake questions, we will be able to provide you an honest assessment of in the current immigration landscape in Canada if we think that it makes sense right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Wakawaka Doctor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks
No
for
problem.
joining. Thank you so much.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother. How are you? What you? Where are you? Sidant? Where are you?
I'm
And you
good,
have
good.
got
How are you? I am currently in Canada.
okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I have a question for you guys is that do you guys also help? Like, I have been a student here, I've done my graduation. I'm on a work permit right now since 1 year. Do you guys help in PR applications as well?
As of right now, no. Like, the way we do it is we will help if you wanted to apply to a education extension or a master's program or switch programs. But if you're on a postgrad work permit right now and you're looking to apply and go through either provincial or other nomination processes for PR, we don't support with that right now.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, no
Thanks.
problem.
All right.
Maybe one
Thank
day.
you very much.
But thank you for
Sure.
asking.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to also iterate this, guys. If you know you are not ready to move to Canada, if you know you're not ready to move to Canada, you're not financially capable of moving to Canada, don't bother using the link. Don't waste people's times, okay? The time is precious, and they also need to use their not so limited resources, but the time as well to handle people who are really interested in this. Can you give us a range? People are asking, what's the range, like the lower limit of tuition and the higher limit of tuition for the
Yeah.
school? You said you have collaboration with more than 100, 200 schools in Canada. So, yeah.
It depends on the study level and the program, but generally for tuition itself, it will be anywhere from like 12,000 to 30,000 Canadian dollars for a year of the program. Now, you don't have to pay it up front. Generally, the schools will allow you to pay in installments, 4 to 6 to 8 installments. And then the cost of living would be, and flights and all that type of stuff is probably another 20,000. That's why the government wants to see 50,000, is like they know you could more than cover first year tuition and living expenses for Canada. Now, if you pick a school that is maybe not in a downtown metropolis city, the living expenses could be lower for what you actually pay, but you still have to show the government sort of the same amount. Is kind of why we set it up that way.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to waste your time anymore. So I'm just going to ask you, you've got 2 minutes to talk to us and, tell us whatever you've got on your mind. You want people to come to Canada. You are Canadian. You live in Canada. You've developed this fantastic opportunity to help as many people as possible. Any final words you want to use to encourage people who would intend to move to Canada as well?
Yeah, I think studying abroad is incredible. It's a great experience. It opens up a lot of opportunity. And despite what might be out there on the internet and in the media, Canada is a welcoming place. We want you, we need you at the institution level, at the economic level, but also just, it makes the culture so much better. I know that it could seem a little bit difficult given the changing regulatory environment around study visas, but we have experts, admission coaches, an immigration platform, and lawyers that will help you with that. It is still a great time to come. Despite caps, hundreds of thousands of students will make it here. And we would love to support you if you're ready and excited about it, because I think it's an incredible opportunity. And so that's what I would leave people with. Well,
I think what you
so
can
please
do,
send us a DM,
yeah.
because we monitor the DMs. Sign up on Halp, like on our website through the link that we've pinned here, because you can ask questions to the onboarding and verification team and understand a little bit more and learn that way. Even though we won't be live and chatting, we still can be a resource for you.
So please, guys, send a DM on Instagram. It's We Can Halp. We Can Halp, not help. We Can Halp, HALP. And of course, you can use the link that we've talked about as well. So there you go, guys. I'm going to leave this video on my page. You can watch anytime you are ready to watch. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming. And hopefully
No problem.
we'll have this conversation again.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
absolutely. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to jump on anytime people would like to chat.
All right, then.
Have a nice day.
All the best. Bye. Bye.